Welcome to What the Your cure for having too many brain cells. Let's get a preview of tonight's show from Timothy Walton in our legal department. Timothy, what have we got in store for tonight's show?
Well, there are several good stories lined up. First of all, we asked the question, is there any time when nagging is appropriate? And if we ask often enough, will you please change your answer? And is nagging something you want to hear at the office? Some people should not let their true selves show at work. For more career advice, researchers have found that women who can't find a man throw themselves into their work. Imagine that. And finally, everyone may soon be eating artificial meat. All of that and more on What the
Thanks, Timothy. I'll see you at the end of the show. All right. Hey, Nobel Prize winners, A-list celebrities, and supermodels. To paraphrase Donald Rumsfeld, you go with the panel you have, not the panel you wish you had. Let's meet them. Sitting in the far chair, it's library worker Jenna Christ. She's cuter than a toddler eating tiny buffalo wings made from penguin chicks. In the middle chair, it's nurse and member of the comedy troupe Suburban Squirrels. It's Frankie J. She's so smart, scientists now recognize Frankie J facts as trumping scientific facts. In between them, it's former Starbucks and Pete's barista and professional midget cage fighter. It's James Ilg. If Woody come back for hockey playoff games, the San Jose Sharks would blow him in overtime. Finally, sitting next to me, it's the host of the live KMVT show, John Wants Answers. It's John Vink. If asking questions was an episode of The Deadliest Catch, he'd get crabs. Issue number 1. If you don't want your belly to sag, is it best to get nagged? Will your health pass if your friends tell you to get off your ass? A study from the University of Lincoln has found that the least active people actually appreciated pestering by spouses and children to get physically active. The study is the first to address the range of social influences affecting levels of physical activity among people aged between 30 and 60. The media and doctors appear to play a similar role, providing alarm bells to shock those who are unfit or inactive about the potential consequences of a sedentary lifestyle. I think we have some of the research footage here. Yeah.
Wow.
So the cat actually got some exercise and lunch. So, right?
Of a toothache.
Who could have predicted that outcome?
I know. There you go. All right. Jenna, I'm going to start with you. You buying this? Nagging is good for your physical activity?
I don't know if nagging is good. If someone's not open to hearing the suggestions, then it'll just frustrate them and cause strife within the relationship. But emotional support, physical support, in helping someone to get exercise, that does help. So I think, there's a line between, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, and hey, let's go exercise together.
Does it work for you?
50% of the time.
Okay, all right. Does it work enough for you?
It does help a little, but I wouldn't call it nagging. Nagging has so many negative connotations, like if the person says, let's go for a walk, and sometimes I'm like, I'm too tired, I need to rest, and other times, yes, let's go.
All right. Frankie, buying this or not? You're the nurse.
It just brings up all kinds of negative memories.
Really?
Absolutely. Nag.
Yeah.
You have to go exercise.
Yeah, go out.
But you need to go exercise. I'm not saying that that's not a good thing, but make it fun. Have a group participation.
Is that what you call your little dungeon?
Downstairs?
Yeah, with the straps and the whips and stuff.
Oh, you remembered. Oh, my gosh.
I know. It's a unique experience.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Lots of memories are laid down
Absolutely. And no nagging was involved.
Oh, yeah. No, that's more screaming.
Oh.
Screaming.
Oh.
Screaming.
It's
James?
soundproof, kids.
There you go.
Oh, that's good to know.
James, you buying this?
No, not for a second. I think you got to do. It's got to be about happy things. It's not nagging if it's about happy things. If you want to get somebody motivated, if you want to have more activity, then suggest having sex.
Okay.
I think you'll get a lot better response out of that.
Now,
happier ending.
A much happier ending, too.
Yes.
Not necessarily. There might be crying at the end and apologies.
but no
You're
nagging.
doing it wrong.
Well, that's what she said. But there you go. Yeah, John, what do you think? You buying this or not?
I think you might get some exercise leaving the room from the person who's nagging you all the time.
So you have at least that,
So
right?
some exercise, or maybe getting in your car and driving away.
Okay.
That kind of thing. My wife nags me to get more exercise.
Does it work?
And no, not really.
No.
No.
Really?
I'm in denial, probably. I think I get enough exercise myself.
Well, how much exercise do you get?
I walk like 3 miles on the weekends and
Yeah.
a couple miles weekdays.
And what does your wife nag you to do more of?
More cardio, I guess.
Okay. Anything else?
She thinks I'm, a little too
A
fat.
little middle-aged spread?
Blood pressure is a little too high, all
Okay.
this stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll throw this out to the group then. Do you think nagging can go too far? So
Absolutely.
So if I constantly nagged you to exercise and it was really, really pushing you over the edge, you would just go up and just grab a hammer and just get some nice cardio and muscular exercise, right? With the ice pick?
I don't think I'd attack you with an ice pick, but I am kind of contrary, like a donkey. If you push me too hard, I'll just go, "Arr," put my heels down.
Right. And suddenly
You're more of a
become the
machete type of
teenager that we once were.
So that's more of a static exercise, right?
Yes, I'll just, no, you can't make me.
But if someone's dragging you, you're It's a resistance
It's a
exercise.
resistance.
right.
That's good.
So I guess it would work.
It would work, right? James, do you agree?
I agree totally. Yeah.
Now you were married and you had a wife who constantly nagged you. Did she ever nag you to get more exercise?
Yeah. And then I came back with, okay, let's have sex.
And
she's like,
how did that work out?
Then she stopped nagging me for a while. And then she forgot and nagged me again. And I said, well,
Yes.
have sex.
Yes. Happy endings?
Never.
Just an apology and crying, right?
I think that was the divorce.
Yeah.
the divorce.
That's true. Ultimately, happy ending.
Yeah. So maybe nagging has some legal implications, right? There, Frankie?
Possibly.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Does
Oh,
nagging
God.
work with you, though, Frankie?
No.
No, just
No.
so
It's just
you're the nagger,
No,
right?
but I can be.
Okay. See, when I wrote nagger, it's like I was like, no, I can't really say that because somebody might mistake it for something else.
Something else?
Yeah.
a slur of some
Yeah,
sort.
and I don't like getting in trouble.
Kind of
yeah.
like slut clothes.
Yeah, that's right. It's so I'm more the naggy. But do you guys wish you were nagged more often to do certain things?
Exercise. Yeah.
No.
Or just not necessarily nag, but do you know the talk you get from the doc when you go visit your doctor and he says, wow, we really got this great study and people are out there and they're doing really good and they're living longer and healthier
Right.
hearts? I wish I had that every day in my ear
Okay. Well, we'll note to your husband.
because it's positive.
All right. Sadly, we must leave this segment. Issue number 2 is being insincere the key to a promotion over your peers. A study from the University of Greenwich in London finds that while honesty is often the best policy in social situations, being yourself at work is not a good idea for your career. Scientists assessed the levels of authentic self-expression for volunteers to see how far they opened up to people. The results showed that participants were more likely to be themselves with their partners, followed by their friends and then their parents. However, they were much less likely to show their true selves at work to their work colleagues. Those who were authentic with their partners tended to have greater well-being and life satisfaction. But the same benefits were not seen from being authentic at work. For further comment, we turn to our KMVT intern, Todd Dizzy Jones. TJ, your thoughts?
Not that many Jews. Whoa. Maybe pass out maybe.
This one had that ending, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think you really said anything.
I wonder how you explain that to workman's comp.
Yeah, that'll be. I don't know if workman's comp covers interns. But
I
we'll-
have no idea.
But I guess we'll find out. Anyway, so James, I'm going to start with you. You're buying this?
But yeah, don't beat yourself at work.
What type of person are you at work?
Actually, I'm a bit more productive, and I'm actually a nice guy.
Ah, so you're just a lazy jerk in real life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't you know?
And you suppress that, right? At
Yeah.
work. Do you suppress that in your social life, though?
Do I just? That's a good question. Well, you try, but I don't know.
It's hard.
Yeah, usually.
All right. So Jenna, you're a librarian. You buying that? Are you yourself at work or not?
I'm an aspect of myself.
Which is?
Well, I had a student employee tell me how incredibly patient she thought I was, which was great to hear, from someone that I supervise. But certainly at home, it's something that I have to work on. I am not a patient person at all. Right.
So you treat your employees better than your boyfriend. Am I getting that right?
Don't they all?
Well, they both work for her, just in different ways, right?
We're so close that I can let my hair down and be myself around him. So yeah.
Okay. And then the handcuffs come out, right? All right. Frankie, are you yourself at work?
I am sometimes, and then I have coworkers that say, that is going to get you fired.
Ah, okay. So what parts of yourself do you suppress?
Well, saying out loud exactly how I feel about a certain aspect of a job or a personality trait, etc. And on the home front,
right.
I am trying to be much more kind.
Okay.
And to make the marriage last
a little bit longer?
A little bit longer than it already has.
Okay. All right. Wait a minute. So what are you suppressing?
Comments like, I can't believe this person actually wrote that in this chart. Oh my God.
Oh, as opposed to wrote that in the script?
Exactly.
Yeah. You can be yourself here, right? Unless being yourself means...
much more being myself here than I am any other place.
Yeah. Unless being yourself means shooting everybody up, shooting up the studio. Don't do that.
Never.
Yeah.
That's not part of my MO, kid.
No, I don't think the liability will cover that, but,
Right. And I get no workman's comp here anyway, so that wouldn't...
That's true. Hey, John, you work at a really large corporation.
Very large.
And very prominent corporation at
Yes,
that.
indeed.
So are you yourself at work?
I'm at myself at work. I'm advised not to be myself anywhere.
Really?
Often, yeah. I'm often very inappropriate.
How so?
Well, see, I can't discuss that because I'm advised not to act myself here as well.
Are you confusing your work product again with your personality?
What?
Yeah. Could that be the problem? You're confusing your work with your true self? You know there's a distinction, right?
He is his work.
He is his work.
I am my work.
All right. Don't worry. You lucked out. We ran out of time. We're on to our first break. Oh, welcome back. Issue number 3. Will women work if men are jerks? Do women get MBAs when there are no MENs? New research from the University of Texas at San Antonio and the University of Minnesota contends that a shortage of eligible bachelors for female college students is leading many women to invest more in their career than in their family. The study suggests that when men are scarce, women postpone having children and instead pursue high-paying careers. According to one of the researchers, quote, women who judge themselves to be less desirable to men, those women who are not like Angelina Jolie, were most likely to take a career path when men became scarce, unquote. On the other hand, women in this situation could resort to alternatives.
Fucked up. I know, bro. Yo, just fucking out, right? Nah, I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah,
She had long arms.
I really don't like those tree huggers. Oh,
She really loves the environment.
yeah, loves it a little bit too much. All right. So, Jen, since I'll start with you. You buying this or not?
I don't know. I feel kind of complicated about this article because some of what they said totally made sense, and some of it was sort of, I don't know, insulting or skewed in a strange way. That it has to be either or, that the only option is, heterosexual relationships with a man. I mean, they can't choose alternatives. They can't be with other women. They can't decide to have a baby by themselves. But, on the other hand, it does make sense that if you don't see a nice guy around and, you want to pursue a career, but it's not like a dichotomy of either you get with the men's and have a family, or you're like happy, awesome career woman. So I'm very complicated feeling about this.
All right. Well, it's not necessarily every woman. It's just that,
Overall.
If overall, that's what you get. So does that change your answer in any way? Because I assume not like all women are going to go gay if there are no men around, right? Some might, but not all of them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So-
I'm not saying that's like the only choice, but it just some of the wording in it I can't recall specifically. It just kind of made me feel strange.
It stuck your craw in the wrong way?
Correct.
Right. Well, you didn't have this problem in college, right?
No, I was already with my longtime boyfriend.
See, you'd already settled down.
Yes.
And did you have to? Would you have forgone career? Would you have pursued a career ambition if he hadn't been there?
Well, I always kind of wanted to work in libraries, and now I work in a library. So there you go.
Next on
An
60
interesting
Minutes.
tangent is that I think women are there are more women than men in some colleges, and
Yes.
so
Yeah.
that's what they're talking about. But it's kind of interesting.
Frankie,
I-
you work with doctors. You agree?
I,
Huh?
not all doctors are men.
I know I'm being sexist.
Yeah, exactly. But the comment about the colleges, if there's one college that doesn't have a lot of choices in it, I mean, it's like, there's 50 states in this country, and then there's the rest of the world. So what are these people talking about? I have to agree with Jenna.
Well,
I think the article is skewed.
Easy to find. Easy to find. So
Yeah.
I'm going to save this question for the guys. If you think of the situation reversed, guys that are in a situation where there are not that many women around, do you think they behave the same way? Pursue their careers, or do you think they just become complete douchebag losers?
The situation is reversed here. Like San Jose is often called Man Jose,
Right.
Because there's a lot of tech companies who bring in guys from around the world, and there's no industries bringing in females to match the men. So there's like not enough women for the men that are here.
So do men pursue careers then, or do they just completely give up?
Oh, I think they already have the career and they just work at their job a lot more.
Yeah, but so they pursue their careers.
Well, they continue with their career. And
Yeah, James, do you have that problem?
Yeah, remind me not to ever move to Man Jose. No, but I was thinking exactly the same thing. If the whole thing was reversed, what would men do? So if men were happily married, they'd probably want to work more. And if they had trouble finding spouses, then they'd probably want to stay home all day.
No, you don't think they try to work harder to make themselves more desirable to the few women that are out there?
I don't know. It's very competitive. If that's
But now flip the situation around. A few guys, but a lot of women. What do you think the guys would do?
the rest of them are models.
Yeah, we'd be complete douche. We could be complete douchebags.
Ourselves
Thursdays,
go.
yeah, right.
As I say, Thursday night for me. All right, we're out of time for the segment. Let's go on to issue number 4. Will vegans eat grown meat? Bioengineers at Maastricht University in the Netherlands are scheduled to produce the world's first lab-grown cut of meat in October. They grow the meat using adult muscular stem cells, or progenitor cells, as they are harvested directly from the animal and, unlike embryonic stem cells, have the capacity to turn to skeletal muscle cells or protein automatically. The drawback is that while they divide more often than embryonic stem cells, they don't do so indefinitely. The researchers can get one cell to multiply into 1 million, but estimates they need 100 million cells to make a burger. I think we have footage of the donor animal here.
That's not cool, man.
Oh man, I'm hoping that they harvested the material from the dog's legs rather than when they neutered him, because that would be bad. James, lab-grown meat. Something you'd try or something you wouldn't try?
Lab-grown, it depends. Is it going to be beef or chicken?
Well, they can apparently make it into anything. So
Well, yeah, that's what they say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it something you'd try?
If it was chicken, I guess.
It was chicken?
Yeah.
Right. Frankie?
Something, I would have to wait until, they could grow a lot more of it
All right.
to really get the mouth appeal.
Oh,
But you know something? You could really save a lot of energy if you could just eat the little cells by themselves that were growing in the petri dish, because then you could have a very small refrigerator full of petri dish trays and go in and take a certain amount to fulfill your protein requirement for that day.
Do you think it'd fill you up?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so it's like Chinese food, right? You eat some,
Exactly,
but this time
right.
a minute later you want some more, right? All right. Jenna, you're licking your chops just at the thought of the story, right?
I had a really hard time with the first sentence of the story was like pulsating meat in petri dish or something like that. I was like,
no, that was my Match.com quote. You gotta read
That was
the-
Jim when he went into the
it
lab.
took me a couple tries just to read the story because I don't
Again,
know.
that's what she said. But
In petri dish, I mean, it sounds kind of interesting. They've got it on Velcro, and I mean, it sounds like they're not there yet. I mean, because there's no blood system, and it's all just pale white and weird. And but,
nuggets. That's all known as chicken McNuggets, right?
Yeah.
But-
Petri patties.
There you go.
But if they work the science out, I mean, it sounds like it'd be great, you know, for taking care of animals. You're not going to have them stuck in huge feedlots. You're not going to have poor chickens stuck in, you know, beakless in little cages. So you can eat somewhat, you know, you can eat meat without hurting animals. But the thought of a pulsating meat in petri dish kind of turns me off.
Or
Doesn't that
on.
defeat the whole idea of vegetarianism?
How about if we instead of pulsating meat, they just said throbbing meat?
Oh my!
There you go. John, what do you think? Would you eat meat grown in a petri dish?
Well, you know, this study was done in Holland, and I'm going to be there next week, so I'm going to be extra careful in the market, in the deli case.
Okay.
Make sure my meat's not grown artificially. I don't know, because I won't even eat, the fake soy meat. Like some restaurants, have chicken cutlets and beef stroganoff, but if you read the fine print, it's
soy.
It's lies. It's the restaurant of lies, I call it.
Yeah, it's a restaurant of vegans. It's all right. When it says vegan in front, you kind of expect the meat to be faux.
Right, especially when the subtitle on the menu says vegetarian.
Well, if you get dragged there, you don't know this notice.
I'll throw it out to the table. Lab grown meat. Would vegans go for it? Would vegans eat it?
No.
No.
Doubtful.
I don't think
No.
so.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Why
whole-
not? Because when they go to a vegetarian restaurant, all they're eating is something that tastes like meat.
There you go. Or here's another thing: if they can make it in different types of meat, like beef or pork or chicken. Kosher? Would it be kosher?
Well, there's no
Well, it
equivalent
depends
clause,
on the
right?
medium.
Yeah. Would Hindus eat vat-grown beef?
Good question. You should ask.
I
They
don't
might
think
argue
that,
that
no.
originally the cells came from an animal and were grown from an animal, and so
Yep.
they probably would still not accept.
What if it was grown from one animal and made it taste like a cow?
Oh, you got me.
Like the spices.
I'm no
That's fine.
expert.
It could be halal too, right? It would be halal. Yeah, would lab-grown meat be halal? No Muslims on the panel, right? No, I'm sorry about
What's
that.
halal mean?
Well, only if it's pork flavored.
Kosher for Muslims.
Oh, I think it's the way it's killed, right?
Yep.
And
Okay.
this meat's not killed.
All right.
Right.
Really? Is it?
All right. I
It's
don't know.
grown.
Oh, sadly enough, we're out of time.
Oh, man.
All right, we're on to our second break. Okay, and we're back from our second break, and we are at the fact-checking segment. This is where we learn where all of the mistakes we made during the show, and for that, we turn to Timothy Walton in our legal department. Timothy, how'd we do?
You guys are all nuts. I tell you, you get everything wrong. I have to go back and change all these things or we're totally going to get sued. First of all, workman's comp is generally available to interns, but not in Texas. So it depends upon where KMVT is. And I also have to point out that workman's comp will not extend to Frankie shooting up the studio.
That's true.
Or shooting up in the studio.
Yes, exactly. That would not be covered.
No, it's not
And in the nagging story, I have to ask, James, how many times do you need to be told to take out the trash?
If there's sex
and-
involved, just once.
Where he keeps the
John,
blow-up
your
doll.
wife is right that you don't get enough exercise.
You can tell.
I suggest that maybe if you asked James's ex for sex, that might shut up your wife.
I'm in the wrong way. Speak to me again.
And Jim, now I come to you. You got one fact so wrong. You need
Only
to know
one?
that all women will go gay if they can't get a man.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yes, that is an established fact. Ask any man.
Yeah, that's it. Because that's what keeps him from going gay is us, right?
And
Well,
you'll
you-
know that.
You.
Yeah.
And interestingly, John, you got this one wrong. If the situation were reversed in that story, the men would not work more unless you were talking about men working harder to snag a babe.
I think that's what we were talking about. Men will work if there were shortage of women. Us guys will work harder because then we could afford the flashy cars.
To get the money.
No, not
impress the
work
girl.
on their careers. At the bars, picking up women.
There's no women there at bars.
But in
Have you
order
been
to,
a bar
in order
around
to pick
here?
up the women, you need the flashy clothes and the flashy watch and the bling bling, right? It's an indirect effect.
Maybe you do.
Oh,
Snap!
he is a confident man. He is a confident
I'm already
man.
married, by the way.
He doesn't live in Santa Cruz for no reason, you know.
Oh, okay.
I also need to get to the final story, of course, because James, you were wrong to say that you would not try the beef. You will. Believe me, you will.
And he'd like it. And he'd like
Yum.
it. Yum.
Yum!
Well, he's tried other things called beef, but we really don't want to talk about that, do we, James?
Yeah, it wasn't kosher.
It definitely wasn't kosher.
Or
I'm still researching the Talmud to try to determine whether petri meat is kosher or not.
Oh, okay. Can you figure out if it's halal or not either?
Yeah, well, I'm going to need additional time because these are tough questions.
Well, I don't think we haven't had enough meat for that to become an issue. But but you always want to be ahead of the curve, which is what we pride ourselves on this show, right, Timothy?
That is true. There is an enormous amount of undeserved pride.
That is so profoundly true. I mean,
I think so too.
I think so too. That's a very good observation.
Thank you, Timothy, for that vote of confidence.
And I thought my show was a cure for excessive pride. But we got a minute left, Timothy. What else you got for us?
Well, I do want to ask why Angelina Jolie was brought up at all. I mean, aside from the name check, she doesn't seem like an example of the story because she does work hard and she did find a man.
She stole that guy. Give me a break.
Well, she seems a bit more
Which
focused.
guy?
She seems to be, relatively speaking, she's very focused on her family. Don't you agree? Because this is a pretty large family.
Relative to what? It's not like she's a stay-at-home mom.
Relative to her career. I mean, she does both. She does a lot of both.
Well, her
She
publicity
made like
people
4
would
movies
like.
the other year.
Did she really? I really haven't seen any of them, so.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Hey, Timothy, thanks a lot. We are out of time. So thank you very much. All right, you guys, we're out of time for the show. Oh, for those of you who want to follow us online, the information is going to be down here. And awesome job, guys. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Later.